Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Wild Ones podcast. I'm Kara.
I'm Patricia.
Destiny.
And today we have our special guest, Haulston Mann.
Hey,
So
We're so
excited.
excited to have
here.
him on.
You have no
Thank you.
idea
Thank
how
you for having
excited
me.
we are.
Yeah.
We've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's
Especially
been-
since last week.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. I've been looking forward to it too. Unfortunately, we had some escaped cats, some cat escape artists last weekend.
I'm so glad they came within 24 hours.
They
Yes.
did. They came
I
right
know,
back
me
home.
too.
I had nothing to be worried about.
They were probably like,
not
"Oh,
my
I'm
cats
hungry.
either. I was cat
Better go
sitting
home."
for everybody. Yeah.
That just makes your heart drop even worse when they're not even your cats.
Yeah.
I know. I was
For
like, I'm about
real.
to lose my two
Yeah.
best friends in the whole world. They're
Oh,
gonna be mad at me
gosh.
for losing their cats. And they're like, no, they're gonna come back. It's fine. Anyway,
It's an
thanks for
everyday
having me.
thing.
Apparently.
Well, we're glad it worked out, Halston, for sure.
Yes.
Same.
All
Same.
right. Well, why don't we get into it? Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into acting and like a little bit about your background?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I got into it. I grew up in Northeast Arkansas, in an area around like Jonesboro, Bono, Paragould. Those are some of the towns that I kind of like grew up in. And we're right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. That's the big city that folks know. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we were just across the Mississippi River from Memphis. Um, and yeah, I got into acting around when I was like 16, I think 16 or 17. Um, I was already doing like student council stuff. I was playing like I played music very often, and had a little like band. So I had an entertainer thing going on. I knew that I liked kind of entertaining folks. And a girlfriend at the time in high school introduced me to acting, or it got me to go to an audition with her for a musical. Booked it, knew that that was what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. So I went to the University of Oklahoma where I studied acting. A lot of my training was a lot more geared towards classical theater. I thought I was going to be a Shakespeare guy for my entire career. Um, and then when I got out, I was doing like summer stock Shakespeare and stuff between school years. I went and was based in Dallas, Texas for a little bit, and was doing the regional theater thing. And then once I got my back in those days, you had to work a certain amount of weeks in professional theaters to get a union card. And once I got my union card, I moved to New York City, where I was for 8 years. I was based there for 8 years. And during that time period, things started shifting for me more into going on camera for work. So a lot more independent film, um, and then kind of pursuing the network TV thing for a little while. And then as the career built up, I ended up getting representation out here in Los Angeles. And I saw myself kind of flying out every other month for like a callback
Oh,
or
wow.
something, um, and realized that this was just the next big move for me. So a little over March of last year, I moved out to Los Angeles. And that is, what got me out to where we are today.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
Amazing.
every other month, that's
Well,
crazy.
Yeah.
so I can know
That's a
from
little
your
over. That's a little
other
overestimated.
Every couple
Might have
months.
been like 5 months out of the year.
Yeah.
4.
Well,
But
I
it
know
sounds
from
better that way,
like
right?
a previous like interview you did.
Mhm.
Yes. So from like a previous interview you did, you said you had kind of like a hard home life. So did this
Mhm.
kind of help you kind of transition into like out of that and give you something to focus on?
Yeah, so when I was growing up in the area in Arkansas where I grew up, um, it's a pretty poor area, and not a lot of money is being funneled into really anything when I was growing up that was, kind of community based or investing in the community. And it led to a lot of folks in that area getting mixed up in drug use. Um, and my family was I know that Destiny, you said your family business was coffee. Mine was drug addiction. So, but they've got a beautiful story. I'm able to laugh about it now, but they have a very beautiful story. So growing up, it was pretty rough. We were in and out of different homes and things like that. My parents were sort of in and out of sitting off jail sentences and those sorts of things, or in and out of
Hmm.
rehabs. So it's pretty rough, and I found it. I found the way that I was like rebelling from that um, sort of culture was being very like academically successful, very like socially successful in high school. Student council, that kind of
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and something that has just always been a part of me is is storytelling. Anytime we were at like family gatherings or anything, whoever's telling the story and has everybody's attention, that was that was the cool person to me, right? So
Yeah.
from a young age, I got really into storytelling and entertaining, and I think that it was, yeah, a little bit of an escape too, when I realized, oh, I can go live in my imagination and entertain people at the same time. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
um and so yeah, it was kind of that's kind of how it like was a little bit of an outlet for me growing up. So yeah, and then just there is a happy ending to the whole story. My parents are doing great right now. Neither of them are using. My mother actually runs a women's rehab center in Arkansas, and my mom and dad are married to each other. It's their third marriage to each other, and this one was the one we think is gonna stick.
We gotta
So
cross
a
our
very
fingers.
beautiful, yeah, yeah, right. Well, they did it
Yeah,
on April Fool's Day. That's when they signed the papers. Yeah.
of
Well, stick
course,
for sure
You know
then.
it's
of
gonna
course.
last. See, they got that.
Yeah. Well, we're a family full of fools.
That's
Oh.
amazing. I love it. That's a good ending to that story though. I'm glad that they're
Mhm.
doing well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Me too. It's a really beautiful and inspiring story.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, moving on. So we kind of talked about your
Mhm.
background. So we'll kind of go more into like the career side of things,
Sure.
if that's okay. And so they're kind of like, I guess, acting specific, maybe questions.
yeah.
So this is an easy one, hopefully. What are your must-haves when on set? Are there things that you have to have when you're doing a project?
Green M&Ms. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like,
Um,
what?
no, no,
You're
no.
like, I have a rider that I take with me everywhere.
Yeah, I want a bowl of green M&Ms. No, honestly, must-haves are kindness and joy. Um, it's really, I think those are the two key components of creating a collaborative space.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if things are taken too seriously, a lot of creativity gets squished.
Yeah,
Mm, okay.
that's
So
true.
like whenever you're filming or
Mhm,
when you like filming certain scenes and like it doesn't feel right, do you usually go by like instinct,
mhm,
technique, or you just like feel it out and be like, okay, this way's not working, let's try it this way, and
mhm,
like how do you balance staying true to the script while also kind of like moving that like around?
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Great question, by the way. Um, so the way that I typically go about things is, especially if something's feeling like it's not working, a lot of times I'll have a conversation with the director and the other actors in the scene, and we'll kind of try to get everyone on the same page of what is the story beat that we're trying to hit right now, right? Is this the scene where the lovers have a falling out and we want to see that, or is this the scene where I am asking questions to somebody, but it's because deep down I'm going to be manipulating them later, right?
Yeah.
So when we find really specifically what is the story beat, why is this scene in the script, right? And then trying to achieve that with our behavior in the scene.
Hmm.
And then in terms of dialogue or tweaking things around, the way that I do a lot of improv work in my acting. Whether it's improv comedy when I'm doing comedy stuff, I think that's when it gets the most sort of diverting from the script. Um, or whether I'm doing something more dramatic and I'm just playing with different ways of saying something. But I always stick to, again, story beats of what the lines are saying. So the line might be, "Hi, good morning, welcome to my house." But I'll look at that and I'll go, okay, I greet the person and welcome to my home, right? So I can greet you in so many different ways. "Oh my God, it's great to see you." "Oh, hey, welcome to my house." Different lines, but they're still hitting that same story beat of greeting them and
Yeah.
welcoming them. Uh, but they have some
Right.
different colors on it. And then between takes, I always try to give different options of what my intention is or what type of behavior I'm doing. That way the editor can take it in and get all the best stuff from all the takes and then kind of create like a Frankenstein of the scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Nice.
So, like, still based off of that, like, when you've mentioned how many you've done, like, how many
Mhm.
auditions, like, you've showed us, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So, like, when you actually do have that part, what do you do to try and figure out the character
Mhm.
and how you can become that character?
Mhm. Mhm. So the first part of my process when I'm approaching a role that I've been cast for, especially for something like a feature film, usually on those I get a little bit more time to prepare than if it's like a very quick if I'm going on like a series or a vertical or like a short film that needs me to replace somebody.
Yeah.
Those can be really quick and you don't really get a whole lot of time to do prep work sometimes. But when I do have that time to do prep work, what I always do is I try to read the script a lot of times first. I read it like, probably 20 times. And in that moment, I'm just letting my imagination like kind of free roam. I'm picking up things, I'm watching the movie in my head, right? And then as I do that, I start to get a clearer and clearer image of who the character is to me from what I'm getting from the script. And a lot of times I like to use what I call like models, like character models. And it will be I'll be like, okay, this is sort of like, this character's sort of like I'll use One Wicked Night. I was kind of dealing with like a sort of sexy dirtbag type thing, right? So I was
Yeah.
looking at people like um Benson Boone. I think I was looking
Yeah.
at like
Mhm.
that kind of like a little bit dirty,
Hmm.
but there's still like a sex appeal thing happening, and
Yeah.
a few other
Yeah.
musicians that I really like, a few characters from some movies. And once I have those models, I'll go, okay, what behavior do those people do that I want to incorporate into my performance? Um, and so that's probably like the first week and a half of working with the script. And then I'll get into really analyzing what are our story beats, what is the change that happens in each scene for this character, um, and working through that way sort of gets those lines absorbed, or at least the story absorbed.
Mhm.
And then when you show up on set, you let all of that stuff go. You don't think about it, and you be in the moment with your scene partners and see what comes out.
Mhm. That's good.
Nice.
Do you improv a lot?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Especially, I was just telling someone I was doing some ADR, some like voice re-recording some lines for a movie just a couple days ago, and it was I was talking about how I love when things go wrong when we're doing a take. Like
Yeah.
something falls off the shelf or somebody, says something like totally wrong, right? That doesn't fit into the script at all. I love it when stuff goes wrong because it gives us the opportunity to maybe find a little bit of magic. So I always will try to, start improving in those situations. And then when it feels right in the moment, I might add a little bit something different. For instance, a lot of times if I'm like poking at a character or like trying to get them riled up or angry or something, I'll really go off the rails with some of the stuff I do, But yeah, I do it quite a bit. I think it keeps it
How
spontaneous.
how much freedom do you
Yeah.
have to do improv? Is it like
Mhm,
director specific, or do you kind of know ahead of time, like, hey, this will
mhm,
be, okay, I think, or some people like you have to
mhm.
stick to the script and that's it.
Yeah. Also, another great question. Y- the questions you guys prepared, by the way, it really shows, I think, a very great understanding of the craft and everything. So, I appreciate that.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so
Yes.
yes, thank you. The yes, it is a case by case basis, and sometimes it is with the medium, with the format or medium. If I'm going on to, I did like a week on Law and Order SVU, and it was all of it was cut. None of it made it into the final
Oh shoot, because
thing.
I love that show.
I do too. I grew
Oh,
up watching it.
bummer.
Yeah.
I watched a
But
few episodes.
yeah. But for like something like that, like a procedural that is very, they run like a
Hmm.
machine, and
Yeah.
you can kind of feel that in the dialogue too. The dialogue's
Yeah.
really great, um, but it's clipping along, and it's all playing off specific words that the previous line might have said. So with that kind of thing, I don't try to. I try not to futz with it too much when I can
Yeah.
tell that this is how they create. However, a lot of times when you're working with independent features, which is where I spend most of my time, it is a case by case situation with the creative team.
Hmm.
And sometimes we talk about it, and sometimes you just kind of show up and kind of get a vibe for the room and stuff. And sometimes I go in and go, okay, we haven't gotten a chance to talk about this. I'm just gonna futz around and see if they are like, no, no, go back to script or
Yeah.
what they say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just go for it.
so is that kind of like what draws you into
Mhm.
doing more indie films compared to
Mhm.
like everything else?
Yeah. Um, well, I think the thing that really draws me to independent features is that in that world, most of the time, in my experience, it's about creating something cool or something that we like want to be proud of, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times in more studio driven films or network stuff, it can be a lot more about selling a product, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Or, in television series, how long can we keep this thing going?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or how many eyes can we get on this, and sell advertisements. So
Yeah.
sometimes the product itself can, I think, artistically suffer from that sort of view. And then the other thing is, I love telling a full story. I love something that has a beginning, middle, and end,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and the end part is an important part of it. And a lot of
Yeah.
series try to go for as long as we can get it, so we can have a job for as long as we can have.
Yeah.
So, based on
Mhm,
your experience with such a wide range of
mhm,
projects like movies, verticals, comedy, um, is there anything that you've taken
mhm,
from like a character that's traveled with you to each character?
mhm, mhm. Let me
Oh,
think for a second.
how we lost Destiny.
Oh my God, what's happening? Oh, there you are, Destiny.
Okay.
I'm back, sorry.
Mhm. Yeah. So, in terms of taking something, from one character to the next, I think, let me think here. I think that something that I found this early on, okay? And it was while I was in college, I played Iago in a production of Othello.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Iago is simultaneously one of the most evil characters ever written in the English language, but referred to as Honest Iago, everyone's best friend. So he's this villain who manipulates by being everyone's best friend. And that was the first time it really that kind of tactic for
Hmm.
uh playing an antagonist occurred to me, and I realized that I could do it very well. And so that started to be a thing that I invested in
Hmm.
in my acting and kind of targeted those sorts of roles
Hmm.
moving forward.
Oh,
Okay, so Moving on with projects that you've worked on, do you get involved with other aspects of projects like producing, directing, writing? Do you
Mhm.
like to be involved with those other aspects?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, I actually, yes, I've been I've directed a handful of projects. I've directed a short film, um, a music video, and then a
Cool.
few like comedy sketch shows. And I'm getting ready to go and produce and direct another batch of episodes for like a comedy sketch show in New York
Oh, nice.
this summer.
So
Um, but yeah, I dabble in those back earlier in my career. I also did some fight choreography and stunt coordinating as well.
Oh, cool.
Back when I was first getting started. But I always, when I am talking to younger actors, especially if they're going into, mm, you know, the first steps of their career, when you're working on sort of independent projects, I think it's really helpful to have skills in other departments, because
yeah.
you're not always going to be the right actor for every project. There's
Sure.
going to be
Yeah.
you're going to be not working a lot more than
Yeah.
you are working. So it can be very helpful if you do have some interest in other
Mhm.
departments. And I've found interest in directing and producing are kind of the ones I do the most. And then also I've dabbled in a little bit of writing as well. And I don't stunt coordinate anymore, but that used to be a thing that I would do as well.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you
that sounds like a
teach,
lot of
you
fun.
coach, right?
Mhm.
You
And what
still
was
have
that?
that. You still have like the coaching. Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, I
'cause
do.
I
Yes, I
saw that.
coach. And yeah, I actually used to, in New York. I ran a self tape studio, and it was one of the first indie self tape studios out there that wasn't connected to like an acting school or acting workshops or anything.
Yeah.
And I had a studio out there, and I would coach actors at all levels. And then as I started to just kind of do stuff on Zoom, it became much more focused on helping high school students who are auditioning for colleges, and I would help put
Mm,
their audition package together. And then every now and then I'll get like younger actors who are like child actors, and I'll help kind of coach them as well.
mm, okay.
Do you like the teaching aspect of things?
I do, I do. I
Working?
think it's very fulfilling and very I don't know. I know that I had a lot of really helpful mentors in my life when I
Yeah.
was coming up in acting. And honestly, a lot of them told me when I was coming up, that they enjoyed being a mentor to me, because they had mentors, and that my job was to pass that down. And I've also found that joy and fulfillment in kind of helping to help the younger generation navigate getting into
Yeah.
the industry as well. I think it's
Yeah.
an important thing to kind of send the elevator back down for folks.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay it forward almost.
Hmm.
And then collect that good karma.
Right?
You gotta
No
get that
kidding.
karma.
Yeah.
um, so like from the projects that you've had so
Mhm.
far and projects coming up, what is the steepest learning curve that you've had
Yeah.
from them?
You know what? one time, one time, this was back in my theater days. I'm gonna I'll drop two projects. One of
Okay.
them was I had to learn how to do harmonica while doing a marionette puppet. Okay.
What?
So I was playing this like busker who was doing harmonica and making a little puppet dance.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, that's harmonica. How hard can it be? you know?
Yeah.
And I learned how hard it could be.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's very hard.
Yeah. And then another time I was playing a clown in this like circus themed play. And there was a part where they wanted me to unicycle across the stage. And so I learned to unicycle.
Wow.
However, as a
Wow.
young actor, nerves were, of course, coming into play. And I
Yeah.
fell off that unicycle every
Oh.
performance except for one. Now,
Oh my gosh.
luckily, while I was doing that, I was wearing a red clown nose. So I would just be like, and you know, make it funny or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have to be part of the
Those were
act.
two of the yes, yeah, those were the two of the hardest things I had to like learn how to do for a
Oh
production.
man.
That's
Wow.
amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing. How random though. Like you can just go and be like, I know how to unicycle. Do you? Like
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know, my hips. I'm in my 30s now.
Yeah.
you're like, I'm too old now.
That's gonna cost you extra.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are willing to pay to see that
And to see
happen.
the unicycle
Yeah,
work.
for real.
All right, all right. Maybe that needs to be a new Instagram reel. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
That's your
No,
new
what would
thirst
really be
trap,
impressive
Halston.
is if you could unicycle and play the harmonica and do the marionette puppet.
Yeah.
The triple threat.
There you go.
yep,
Triple
for
threat.
real.
That's your new like that's your new thirst trap.
But that's it. That's it. I'm sure it's going to
Yes.
open a lot of doors for
The-
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine all the people that will come for that.
Yes,
Yeah,
right. Oh
Yes.
my
they will.
gosh.
That'll be a hit.
Oh my gosh.
Um, let's see. How
Mhm,
do you decide which projects to say yes to and then which ones to maybe walk away from or just
mhm.
nope, not for me.
Yeah, yeah. Whichever one's paying the most. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, no, no. No. There have been a lot of. If I can't understand what we're trying to sell, whether it is a story that we're creating, you know, or whether it is, you know, a commercial where we're actually trying to sell a product, or if it is a vertical series where it's about, you know, this steamy thing, but then we also want to see some like the villains, you know, if I can't figure out like what the story is, then I'm not going to serve that project very well just as a creative, right?
Yeah,
So and that doesn't happen very often, you know, but it's I think I've experienced it more on like super indie projects when people are like, "Hey, will you just read my script and, you know, if you want to come out and do this one?"
Mm.
And if it's something where I can't like really grasp what we're trying to say, then I'm not going to be a good choice for it. You know,
yeah,
it's not necessarily like that I don't like it or that I don't think there are cool parts. It's just that I'm not going to be able to do my job as an actor and an artist.
yeah.
And then one time, some people gave me real weed on a set
Yeah.
in a stoner
Oh no.
comedy, and got me high during that, and didn't tell me it was real weed
Oh man.
until I had done like 5 takes,
Oh
and that
no.
project I did walk off that set.
Oh man.
I mean, I would have too.
Yeah,
Shoot.
That's
or
like
actually, I probably floated off that set because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was up there.
depends on how much you had. You're like, I'm floating. I'm like on cloud nine, just breezing
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
by.
I
Yeah.
said, what do you mean, man? My character's sober in the next scene that we're shooting.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
you know.
Oh
But yeah, and if it
man.
has a great story, if there's a great story in it, or if I'm seeing something that lights me up that makes me really excited to join a project, a lot of artists in I think right now in all genres and mediums are experimenting with genre mixing. You know,
Mm.
we're
Yeah,
getting stuff right now that are like suspense comedies or psychological comedies. We're getting
Mm.
stuff that is like, you know,
Hmm.
blending of genres. And I
yeah,
really love that. That's a thing that I think is very interesting for where cinema is going.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
that always kind of lights me up when I see somebody playing with something that like maybe hadn't been done very much before.
Yeah.
How fun. I mean, that's got to be cool to kind of like mix them up and have like,
Mhm,
instead of your normal like rom-com or something, like
mhm.
have like a horror comedy or,
Well,
you know.
yeah. One thing that one of the interviewers talked to me about with a movie I did called How to Start a Cult in 5 Easy Steps
Yeah, yeah.
was
yeah,
they were calling it a psychological comedy, right? Because it had aspects of psychological thriller and
Yeah.
yeah.
aspects of
I saw the
really like
trailer.
wacky comedy. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
right,
saw the
right.
trailer to it. That
So
looks
Yeah.
the first,
very interesting.
I'm really I'm proud of that project, and it just now signed a new deal. So they had released it on their website, but it
Yeah.
just signed a new deal, and it will probably be streaming within the next like 4 or 5 months. So keep an eye
Oh,
out. I'll
cool.
post about it. But that project was like the first like 2/3 of it
Mm.
are like broad improv comedy, and then the last bit of it, it gets pretty intense. It gets pretty like psychological thrillery, you know.
Yeah, like
So
you
Yeah.
can
that was
see
very
part
exciting.
of that in the trailer that's up right now.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so like I watched it and I'm like, that gives off like a lot of like the like how what like the Scientology, like how it started like there,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
L. Ron Hubbard, I think that's his name.
Yes,
How
yes.
all of those start
Hmm.
off where it's like, oh, and how fast people can just
Hmm.
go with what they're saying and they
Mhm.
believe it, because when you present it and you're confident in yourself and you're like, yes, this is it because they talk to me like this. And then there are
Yes.
people who will be like, oh my God, like you are so right. This
Hmm.
that resonates with me. I'm going to follow you. And then
Hmm.
that's how it slowly starts to build. So that's the five
Yeah.
cult one that looks so interesting. I'm so excited for
Yeah.
it to come out.
Absolutely. And we
Yeah.
played a lot with, when people, well, to talk about what you just said, when you find a group of people who are looking for answers, which is, I think, a lot of us in life,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
and you show up going, hey, I have answers, people will listen, you know?
Yeah.
And we were really pulling a lot from, we did pull from Scientology stuff, and we also pulled a lot from the manosphere thing, the
Mhm.
Andrew Tate, the like,
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
Sneeko or whatever, that kind of thing, that kind of toxically masculine
Yeah.
guys who are coming on and like finding, these young men who are looking
Yeah.
for someone to look
Right.
up to. So that
And
was a
there
big
are
part of it too.
Yeah, there are so many like cults. It's so ridiculous. Like when I was doing the research and I was looking up for the 5 easy steps, um, and I've watched so many of those biographies, documentaries
Mhm.
relating to like FLDS,
Yeah.
and the happy smiling faces, and there's so many, and I like don't like it's so hard to comprehend how to be in that mindset when you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
looking from the outside. And then there's just
Mhm.
those people
Mhm.
that like are just so believable in
Mhm.
it, and
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
like truly believe them, and that's how easily people can be manipulated. It's
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
crazy.
And actually, to speak on that, you can get it in all kinds of, areas. In One thing that I've noticed is sometimes you'll find like acting teachers or acting classes or acting gurus, right? That are
Yeah.
going, hey, I have the answers. Come
Mm.
to this class if you want the answers. And then like you're locked in, because they'll
Yeah.
have this power of like, oh, what, do you not want your career to go any further? Do you
Mhm.
not care about this
Yeah.
Yeah.
work? Right.
Yeah.
So
It's
like it
that
can happen
guilt.
in all kinds of fields. Personal
Yeah.
trainers, you know what I'm saying? Life
Yeah.
Yes.
coaches.
Mhm.
Right.
Um,
Like they give you those little crumbs that want you to want
Yeah.
more. And then
mhm,
that's how they
mhm.
reel you in, is like, you want this? Okay, here's a little crumb. If you want more, like just keep coming back. And then that's how they can
Yeah.
get you, and you're stuck and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm, mhm.
How did you
I
get in that
actually have,
mindset,
yeah.
Halston?
Yeah, yeah. Um, well, it kind of goes back to what I was saying a little bit earlier about the Iago role, where I learned that I can be one of my like kind of targets as an actor. I have these
Hmm.
archetypal character types that I
Yeah.
focus on, and one of them is the charismatic manipulator, right?
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
learned that when I was yeah, we've all dated them, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I was like,
no,
that's kind of fitting.
yeah, yeah, no, but it is, and it's a thing that I realized that I personally can like do pretty well as an actor. Um,
Yeah.
and so the first thing I noticed was, okay, this guy is being charismatic and bringing these people in with his charisma, with his friendship, or with
Mhm.
or with like the idea that he has these answers. But it's for his own, behind the scenes. It's
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
his own kind of personal gain. And that's always a fun thing to play with. Anything that has that sort of antithesis going on,
Yeah.
in your brain, I think that
Mhm.
leads to interesting work.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how did
Cause
you
that,
come across that
Mhm.
movie, the
Yeah,
script?
yeah. It was actually, so it was when I was in New York, and I was getting pretty into the indie film scene out there, right? Starting to work with some like directors and things. People were kind of knowing me, kind of calling me in if they needed like a last minute replacement.
Yeah.
for something, and I could come in and do a professional job and
Yeah.
be off book, and not have to read the
Yeah.
script, right? And there was a casting director who cast me in a project called Alimony's Pot, where I was a drug dealer. And I was selling weed to like an 80-year-old Korean grandmother.
Yeah, I saw that
um,
trailer.
Super fun. I think that's going to be the plan, is to try to shoot the feature version of that script in September of this year. So keep your
Wow.
fingers crossed for me that that
Yeah,
comes
no
through,
kidding. Yeah.
Put it out to the
but
universe.
yes, right. So the director of How to Start a Cult, he knew that the casting director who cast me for that, and he said, "Hey, can you suggest any actors who are doing the indie film thing?" And I think at that time I had led one feature before, and it was like a kind of a holiday romance type thing. So I didn't really get to like do a whole lot of like wild
Oh
exploring
yeah.
the craft, but I
Yeah.
got to do the professional thing of showing up on script and leading a feature,
Yeah.
showing up on set, excuse me, and leading a feature.
Yeah.
And she said, I think Halston could be a good one for this. And I read the script, and I saw what the guy was doing. I saw that it was like this charismatic manipulator, and I was like, you know what? I can totally, I can totally do this. And when I was doing my audition for it, I there was a scene where I'm like filming like a Instagram ad, that the character's putting out, and I just took my phone and like actually went out onto the street and like was actually doing it as if it was the ad.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, I got in contact with the director after that. We had a call back, and and it, you know, every great once in a while, I'll see a role and I'll be like, oh, that's mine. Like
Yeah.
I am
Mm.
a really good choice for this, and that's kind of how that one felt. It felt from the beginning like, okay, I might book this thing, and I did, and it was an incredible experience.
Mm. Has there ever been where you've auditioned for something and you're like this is so me, but
Yep.
ended up not getting it?
Yes, yes, and that's a tough thing too, because used to big part of my process was daydreaming about like having the role and like the opportunities that it could unlock later, and what it could be like going to the premiere of it.
Yeah.
I work with daydreaming a whole lot. It inspires me,
Yeah.
but that can also lead to like heartbreak.
Yeah,
and
right?
i
It's
and
like
I
a
And
had
it's
this
like the
disappointment.
worst
project.
type of
Yeah,
heartbreak too.
truly.
Yeah.
There was one. It was a movie. It was like a dark comedy, and it was about this like loser guy who gets this idea for starting a cleanup cleaning up crime scenes,
Mm.
and he would
Oof.
like steal stuff. Like his partner was kind of like a lot more skeezier than he was, than my character was, and
Yeah.
his partner would start like stealing like a Rolex from the apartment where grandpa just died,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a very funny dark comedy. I actually flew out to LA for the callback in person, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is it. I'm gonna get this." The casting director was good friends with my agent. The like, I went into the room and was like meeting the, like 12 producers or whatever, and then I didn't get any calls moving forward
Oh,
after that callback, and I was just like, "Oh man." I was actually thinking about looking up that project to see if it got made um, yesterday, but I didn't. So that's how I try to handle it. I try to just go, "Okay, whew, it's in the
Is
past.
it is
Let's
it
go
kind of
forward."
a like go on to the next and like if that doesn't get made or
Mhm,
you make the whole movie and it just doesn't
mhm,
doesn't go forward, like is it kind of like okay, now I need to move on to the next or
mhm,
do you kind of still keep in like trying to make sure that those kind of come out or how does that
mhm.
work for you?
Yeah. So with the auditions, it's very much, especially now, I'm at a point where it's like, okay, on to the next.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way to pursue it. If you're experiencing the heartbreak with every single one of them, um,
Yeah.
that's a tough existence. So, you know,
Yeah.
um, but when you have filmed the whole thing and then the project dies, which it happens all the time,
Yeah.
that's a different kind of heartbreak.
Mm. Yeah, because
You
that can
know,
happen with indie films, right? Like they
yeah.
because they're crowdfunded or they're independent of like a big major,
Mhm.
like a Paramount or something like
Mhm.
that, so that I'm assuming that kind of happens
Mhm.
kind of often,
It does,
after
and it's
after
hard to
you've like
sell.
filmed
Yeah.
the whole thing,
Mhm.
are you like, okay, now I need to move on, or it like how do you deal with kind
Yeah.
of that heartbreak of like going through 2 weeks of filming it and then
Mhm.
nothing happens?
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: a lot of times, because it can be hard for indies to get sold, right?
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's if they don't have like anybody who was famous on there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, a lot of times it's hard to sell. And
Yeah.
and it'll happen. And yeah, that's really what I try to do, is just go, okay, well, I had a great time. If I can get my footage, if I can get some of the footage and like use that for submitting for auditions later, that's always
Yeah.
great. And then
Yeah.
you just you go on to the next one, and mourn the loss of the one that didn't come out, but
Yeah.
hope for the
Yeah.
best on the next one.
Did you
Do
ever
they
use?
always allow you to have some of that, like
Mhm.
some of the footage from it, so that you can take that experience
Mhm.
and have like a resume or a portfolio of going
Mhm.
forward?
Almost always they will
Mm.
allow that. I don't know that I've ever actually experienced one not giving me any footage when I've
Okay.
requested it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times also on those projects, you're working for like a lower rate than if you were working on
Uh,
something that we know is going to sell.
yeah.
So in exchange, hey, of course we're going to give you your footage, because
Right.
just
Hmm.
everybody knows that's how actors get more jobs in the future,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but a lot of times they'll be like, but don't post it.
Yeah. Yeah. For
yeah.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
wait a certain amount of time before
Mm,
you can post it, and
Yeah.
kind of things like that.
Mhm,
Is it
mm,
mhm,
kind of like an EPK for you guys? Do you know what that
mhm.
is?
Yeah, yeah. And in
Yeah.
fact, I've actually put together EPKs. I'll
Oh.
do those semi-annually, like maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years. I'll do
Yeah.
like a big blast to everybody that I know in the industry and go, hey, here's what's new in my life, and have
Yeah.
links and everything to stuff.
mm.
Yeah.
But usually what happens with, you know, for actors most of the time, it's we'll have profiles on these different casting sites. And
Okay.
on those profiles, it'll have, all of your scenes on
Mm.
there. If you've got footage, it'll have your photos, your resume, all that kind of stuff in one
Wow.
place for casting directors to look at.
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah, cool. Kind of along the same vein of kind of disappointment if things don't, go all the way through or finish. Once you finish a project and it gets released and then you hear maybe some criticism or constructive criticism,
Mhm,
how do you handle that? Is it easy to hear and it's usually like constructive in a kind way, or is it kind of sometimes
mhm.
not well
Yeah,
received?
yeah. That's a great question too. When I was a younger actor, criticism was much more emotionally involved. It was the praise felt a lot better, and also the negativity felt a lot
Yeah.
worse,
Hmm.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Um, and that's gone away since then. My relationship to criticism has changed a lot, which I think it has to as
Hmm.
become more of a professional in the industry.
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Um, there has been some times when it has been like I can remember starting off in theater in Dallas. There was like a theater critic who was like
Mm.
known for kind of snarky making fun of bad productions.
Yeah.
And so I caught some heat on that on one of them. I was doing a
Oh.
production of Picnic, and they were like said something about how pasty I was. They were like, "Yeah, he's so pasty. He doesn't look like he was working outside." And then they
Oh.
said something about like having just Justin Bieber hair, which I don't think I
Oh my
had,
god.
but
What?
you know what I'm saying? So like that kind of stuff for like a 21-year-old kid who just got out of
Yeah.
college,
Yeah,
Right.
um, can be kind of like upsetting.
Mm.
Yeah. Have you ever like
But now,
done a part where it's
Mhm,
where you were like, "Oh, I did so good in this and like this was
mhm,
like great." And then I don't know, a critic or I don't
mhm,
know, Rotten Tomatoes or somebody comes in and is like, "Nah, that wasn't good." Like how do you kind of
uh,
navigate those kinds of things? Like where you
yeah.
think that it was you've put all your forward, all your best forward and it's not
Mhm.
well received.
My philosophy on it is actually that art belongs to the audience. Art belongs to
Mm,
the audience, right? So even if it's just one person who liked something, that's just as valuable as the
Mhm.
one person who wrote something that didn't like it, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Right.
yeah, criticism now is just a tool. I think when I have a good review that has like a good soundbite, I'll copy
Mhm.
it and like put it on a picture, and it'll
Yeah.
have the review on there. But
Yeah.
I won't copy the parts that said, he wasn't very good at this point, or whatever, right? It's just a
Right.
tool for the industry now.
Yeah.
Um, when I read it for the first time, there is a pang, a little bit of a
Yeah.
oh,
Mm.
ow, that hurt. But then
Yeah.
pretty quickly after that, I go, okay, well, that was just their take on it. I did what I came, I did my job. The
Yeah.
rest really isn't up to me. And
Yeah.
so much of a performance on camera is put together in the editing room that I'm like, well, what else could I have done?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing else I can
It's
do.
kind of out of your
So
hands at that point. Yeah,
I did
for
the
sure.
if you're doing the best that you can with the support that you have on a certain production, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And I oftentimes find myself going, okay, yeah, that maybe wasn't the best film, but we shot it in 5 days, and every day
For
was
sure.
like a 12-hour day or a 15-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for shooting it in 5 days and only having $3,000 for the budget, or
Oh my
whatever.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So how do you go from like being able to learn the scripts from
Mhm.
like one to the next, especially like in the vertical world where you
Yeah.
film for like
Yeah.
an X amount of days, you have a day off, and then you got to jump
Mhm.
right back into that one. Like especially like from One Wicked Night where you did the night shoots for like 12 hours, and then you got to change up your schedule to the next one and you're doing all day shoots. Like how do you
Yes.
adjust to that and
Yeah.
then being
Uh,
able to memorize the scripts from one to the next? Like do you have
yeah.
techniques?
Mhm. Yeah. So and that's funny that you mentioned that because that actually happened. I went on One Wicked Night, and then like I think 3 or 4 days later, I was on set for a really cool project called Fight Dirty.
With
It's
Olivia
actually coming
Williams.
out.
Yes.
Yeah, it's coming out. I think
May
I think
15th.
later this month.
15th.
May
15th.
15th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Look, I love that, Patricia. Thank you.
I
Um,
got you. I got you.
I think that was going to be a very cool project, and I think I do some transformation in that role, and it's please y'all check it out. I think it'll be kind of cool.
I'm excited for
But
that.
yeah,
Me
Mm-hmm.
me too,
too.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
But to answer your question, the thing that I do typically is I always try to, like I said, memorize story. As long as you know the story beats that are happening, you're going to be able to like navigate the scene, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I focus on story beats, and then whenever you're shooting, they will send you like a pre-schedule the night before with your call sheet
Yeah.
of what scenes we're going to get, and then I'll kind of focus in on those scenes that we're going to be shooting the
Mm.
next day,
Mm.
and get kind of a little bit deeper, memorization work just by going through it
Yeah.
multiple times,
Yeah.
um, and then letting it go away. I immediately try to go, okay, don't think about that ever again because we've got another scene to think about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do they
Yeah.
give
So,
you
Yeah.
sides? Like, are
mhm,
you able to like? Do they give you those like
mhm,
in case you forget or something like that?
mhm. Yeah, sometimes. So it depends. It's a case by case basis on different sets, but a lot of sets will give you like, here are all of the scenes. You'll get a little piece of paper like about this big, and it's all the scenes that you're going to be doing that day. And
Mm.
I'll just keep that in my back pocket, and I'll hit it whenever I'm in between takes or in between
Mm.
scenes. If I need to. But some sets don't do that. I actually, though, I love to work off of paper scripts, right? So I
Yeah.
always
Old
I
school.
Oh,
usually
paper.
will have
Yeah.
You
Old
can't go
school.
wrong with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
no. And so I will always, not on verticals because that would be a lot of printing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Right.
on verticals they have always had the sides on set for the day, and if they don't, I'll just do it on my phone. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but on a feature, if they don't have sides for the day, I always have my script because I like to make a little shadow box and send it to my grandmother whenever I finish a
Oh.
movie. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
So I put the script in
that's
there and like maybe a little prop or something that I got.
oh.
How cool.
I did the
Yeah.
same when I was in high
Mhm.
school and I did a musical. Bye Bye Birdie, I kept the script
Yeah.
and like a couple other things from it because I did
Hmm.
play production. So I built the sets, I
Hmm.
did the lining up, I did the lighting, and we would change everything. So like that was like the first major thing that I did in high school. And so like I still have that script. I still have everyone's signature from that year. And
Hmm.
so I'll like occasionally look back. I even have the newspaper from that
Yeah.
play with it. And I'm like,
Yes.
man, it's so crazy. But like it brings back so many memories and you're just like, you can't get rid of it because that's like a part of you and like that brought you out a little bit from your shell.
Yeah,
Yes.
for
I
sure.
totally agree.
Yeah.
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 I got to
But
do I it wasn't in acting because I've never been in that field, but I got to do like security for this like big thing that was at the Gorge here in Washington. It was a huge concert
Mm.
called Summer Jam that happened in like the early 2000s, and it had like Usher and Genuine and all these like really cool people, right? Nelly and Buster
Yeah.
Rhymes and
I remember
everybody. So
those.
it was every year. So when I got out of high school, I did that in the summer, and it was like a
Mhm.
weekend thing, and we got to keep like stuff from the musicians. And
Oh,
so I
cool.
did the same thing. Like I just like would take stuff and put it in like a shadow box, and
Yeah.
like from that period I was like 19. I thought everything was cool, you know.
Yeah,
But
man.
they
Is
Yeah.
would
that what
give
they're
up, like
called?
Usher brought me on stage, and so I got to like be on stage, and he gave me like the like scarf that he was wearing, right, or
Mm,
whatever. And
yeah.
so yeah, so we got all kinds of cool. Nelly gave me like a little like ring thing that he had wore. And so yeah, so like I think it's kind of cool when you like get to keep those things, but sending it to your grandma is like
Hmm.
totally heartwarming because then she's
Yeah.
like, look what
No,
your
right?
grandson,
That was just
you
like
know.
so
Oh yeah.
adorable.
Dude, she's
Uh,
Yeah.
my biggest fan. Anybody who will listen to her, she'll tell them about
Oh,
her
that's
grandson
amazing.
in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's so cool. I
That's
love that.
awesome.
Hmm.
So we
so
kind of touched on One Wicked Night. So kind of going a little bit more into that. I'm curious how I think you said you don't typically watch a lot of like horror movies or scary movies because I'm the
Yeah,
same way. I'm gonna
me
bucket up.
too.
I'm gonna watch this one for sure,
I love
but
horror
I'm a little
movies.
nervous. How is
Yeah.
it filming a horror movie
Yeah.
when maybe you don't watch them all the time yourself? Like it's not your
Yeah.
favorite genre.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. So yes, I am very jumpy,
Yeah,
right?
Me too.
So
me
they
too.
all
Yeah.
horror films are like riding a roller coaster for me.
Yeah, they
Now,
are.
Yep.
I watch a lot more than I typically would because I happen to work in horror, pretty regularly. It's one of the genres that I work in pretty regularly. And also I think that we've been in sort of a horror renaissance where a lot of the best art films are also
Mhm.
horror films.
Yeah,
And that's been
right.
going on for a few
Mhm.
years now. So I watch more than I normally would. But
Yeah.
my experience on One Wicked Night, it's very funny because I've always said this with romance scenes, but the least sexy place you can be is on a set filming a sex scene or filming a
Yeah.
romance scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're like making it seem that way, but it is
Hmm.
not the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with the horror film, it was, let me think for a second. Yeah, I think there were a couple of moments where I was like, okay, this is actually we're getting into like a little bit of actual like kind of fear feelings, when you
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you're playing it that much, and then also there's like a creepy zombie person across the
Yeah.
room from you.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
body will start having the react. Your heartbeat starts going up. You start
Hmm.
sweating a little bit. Um, so that was a new experience. It was not all as scary on that set
Hmm.
as I think that it's going to be watching the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Right.
can see
But
that.
You
Yeah.
kind of
that
get
that
like
was an
those
interesting
true
thing.
feelings, that true
Yeah.
fear, which
Yeah.
translates
Yeah.
into the film.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then
But
the
then
other
it has
thing
to be
was,
the atmosphere too of the people
Mhm,
with you too in that same
mhm.
like realm of them also having to have that fear, you know?
Yeah, we're also
So,
investing in this thing that we know isn't real, but we're pretending
yeah.
like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
when everybody does it at the same time, it can elicit some cool
Yeah.
responses in your body.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But the only thing that really got me though was I've done gore. I've done blood and gore and stuff. but there was some stuff where I had to have like bile, like vomit
Oh.
on me.
No.
And my
No.
mouth, like literally, y'all, my mouth was like
Oh,
watering, like you know how it does when you're like kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
maybe gonna
Yeah.
gag. And I was like, well, this is grossing me out way more than blood has ever grossed me out.
Well, on that set, everybody was covered in blood. So, like, I
It
feel like,
was
my gosh.
swimming.
That looks
It
true
was a
gore.
puddle across the whole floor. The whole
Yeah.
floor was like you were
Yeah.
sticking to it when you walked through.
Yeah. I remember seeing one of the, I
Ugh.
think it was Evan Moore that posted it, maybe, or maybe it was One Wicked Night. And it was like this, like, shoe. Excuse me, this shoe like round, and then it was just like blood all around it, you know. And I was like,
Yes.
oh my god, like what?
Yeah. What are you guys doing? Yeah.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was like, that is not a set I would want to be on. No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And the amount of blood that was shown
Yeah.
to be used for it, you're
Yeah.
like, this looks like it's, well, for me,
Yeah.
I'm like, this looks like it's going to be so good because I love horror
Yeah.
movies.
Did you have
I
to
think it's
get
gonna be
sprayed
cool.
like Evan?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And we did. Evan and I. One of the last days we had like was our big. Um, we have some physicality between the two of us.
Yeah.
I don't want to give anything away,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
and there is a lot of special effects stuff happening. A lot of special effects makeup stuff happening, and it was just by the end of it, he and I both were like, panting, dripping in blood and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, we got through it. We survived.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see it. Even yeah, it'll be like
Yeah.
daylight,
See it like this,
middle of
yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah. 100% 10 o'clock in the morning for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get my
Oh, man.
support dog, and just like clutch her the whole time.
yes,
That
we'll
would
have
be
to catch
fun.
you up, Kara, on the live. We talked about some emotional
Yeah.
support ideas. We can, if we have a watch party, we'll have to like come up with some emotional support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all as a group decided we
Mhm.
would have a watch party for
Yes.
One
Okay.
Wicked Nights.
Yeah.
So you'll be there
And
for
That
each
was
other.
kind of the
Haulston,
thing
you're
that was gonna
invited if you want to
happen.
join.
Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah.
Keep me posted on it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will.
You can join us, Haulston. That would be
Yes.
fun.
I think that would be kind of cool, right?
I think it would be.
Yeah,
I think
that
it
would
was
be
for
great.
like Destiny, who's like both of you guys who like don't
Yeah.
really like fear movies. You
Yeah,
have like
I
that
know.
collective community of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, like we got you.
Yeah.
That's right.
you
That's
guys,
right.
yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be a video thing or if it's in person because like I went to a scary, I don't even remember the name of it, like in high school. My friends made me go, right? So like we go to the theater. And so it was one of the jumpy ones, of course. So like I'm
Mhm.
not having it at all. So I'm like trying to like plug my ears, close my eyes, and you're in the theater, so like you can tell like there's flashing lights and so like I
Yeah.
stole my friend's hoodie, I like put it on and I pulled the strings tight and like basically like all the way over my face. And I just sat down like this the whole time, the whole rest of the movie. And they're like,
Yeah.
aren't you gonna watch the movie? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna watch the movie. I don't even know why I stayed. But
Mhm.
yeah, that
I
was
was
like,
like 13 and I snuck into the craft. We were
oh,
and it was that was like the scary one for us. And so
Yeah.
I don't know what came out at that point, but we
oh,
got some for something else. And so our parents wouldn't know that we went to it, And
Yeah.
so this was in California. And so we it was so funny because when we walked out, all of us were just like, because the movie that we had picked was completely different than what we were going in for. And so like, and it was like what 1995 or something, so horror was, or
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
thriller was just kind of coming out,
Yeah.
and but I remember all of us walking out of that theater going, oh my god, that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
That was
what did we
terrifying.
just do?
And it was
Yeah.
Final Destination was another one where I walked out
Oh.
with everybody and I was like looking around at everything. I was terrified.
I cannot drive behind a
log
trailer
truck.
hauling
Yep.
logs
A log truck.
because
Yep.
of that.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
don't
Or
Yep.
like
live-
any type of trailer, I move to the side, I speed up to freaking pass it.
Yeah.
Like
So where
That
I
stays
lived in the
with
middle
you.
of nowhere, that's all we had were log trucks. It was like
Mm,
I would have to like go around because I couldn't do
Yeah.
it. We'd have to be behind them going like on a hill, you know? And I'm like,
no,
nope.
no
All I
way.
see is that thing coming right at me.
So like
Mm-hmm.
Paulson, do you like since you live in LA, do you go
Yeah.
to like I love going to
Mhm.
Halloween Horror Nights, not Scary Farm. Like, do
Okay.
you go to
Mm.
those?
I have, excuse me, I have not gone to any in LA. And let me think. Actually, to be honest, it's been a long time since I've even been to a haunted house.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Really?
saying?
me
I
too.
actually don't do that very much. You know,
Yeah.
the
No.
closest I get is like immersive theater that's like pirate themed. You know?
Oh, it's so fun. Like
I could maybe do that. Yeah.
the last time I went to Halloween Horror Nights, I was chased by a clown with the
Nope.
chainsaw. And like
No.
they hit the cement and you see the
Yeah.
sparks and you feel the heat
Oh
and like
no.
I'm
there
not
was
gonna
a
pay for
maze.
somebody to
I didn't
scare the
finish.
daylights out of me and think I'm gonna have a heart
Yeah.
attack. I can't do that.
It's
Yeah.
so fun though. Like I love it. I didn't finish. There was one maze I did not finish. I could not do it. I walked out like halfway. I was like, I'm
Oh
halfway
man.
in.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
About.
want to finish this. I walked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
can't
Yeah.
so
even get in the
fun.
door before somebody will just jump out and I'll be like, nope, I'm done. See ya.
No,
Yep.
that's why
Yep.
no,
Yep.
I
It
can't
was a
do.
great
But I
time.
did
Thank you.
see
Yeah.
they have
Good
like
luck.
you can buy like a special lanyard now that's like will tell it's like basically
Yeah.
like don't scare me. Like don't
Yeah.
jump at
Yeah.
me, don't chase me, don't and
Uh-huh.
I
I
didn't know that.
contemplated that. I was like maybe, but I still wouldn't go through all the houses, so I'm like I would
The
just waste
houses
all
are
that
so
money.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
went to the one that was La Llorona. That one was so good, especially if
Oh.
you know the story. And every year it's they're different themes. It's
Oh,
not always
cool.
I've
the
never
same
heard of
theme.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I,
it's good.
maybe
Halston,
someday.
you like have to go. I'm gonna go this year. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
He's like, yeah,
I
sure.
got you. We'll go, and I got you. I got
Okay.
you.
All right. All right. As long as you're there to protect me, I'll be fine.
I will protect you.
Oh yeah.
I'll protect you being behind you. You protecting me.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Great. That sounds perfect. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
So, you have Fight Dirty coming up.
Yes.
What are we on? The 9th.
the 15th, right?
So
Yeah.
6 days from now.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Woo.
having your brother being Chase the Manimal Man in the
Yes.
MMA world, how is that like? Did you get tips from him, or
Mhm.
looking at his training helped
Mhm.
you get into that type of character, especially since you do the MMA type
Mhm.
fight?
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. No. So, I actually was really into martial arts and MMA growing up as well. And I quit because I got to college and I was training and I showed up to class one day with a black eye and this is like my acting teacher, right? He said, "Halston, you can't be doing martial arts. You have to look pretty." And I was like, "Okay." So that's when I stopped like doing like competitive sort of
Yeah,
Yeah.
training. Um and then switched over to, stunts and fight choreography.
yeah,
But so I had a background with it, and I love being supportive of my brother. He's probably one of the most inspiring people in my life. He's my younger brother. He's 29. Um, he's 3 years younger than me, and you know, he also kind of came. He came from the same place as I did, and he now is in one of the biggest fight federations in the world.
Yeah.
yeah,
One championship. Uh, he gets flown out to Bangkok to fight. So
yeah,
Wow.
super
So
inspired. But
cool.
I actually, they had reached out to me, and this is something I took from him. They reached out to me to do this role, and they said, "Would you be open to like buzzing your head?" And I
yeah,
said, "No." No, I said, no, I was like, "Look, I think that's a cool look. I get what you're going for, but like that would require me to do a whole like photo shoot and get new headshots and all of that kind of stuff while it's growing back out."
yeah,
But I kind of met him in the middle and was like, "Look, this is my brother, and he has this sort of like mullet haircut. Mine's
Yeah.
grown out since then, but that's
Yeah.
why I cut. Like we did a shave on the sides there, and kind of got it into the mullet look.
Yeah.
And so that's something I totally stole from him.
Mm.
And then there's also a part, because Chase's like nickname is the Manimal.
Yeah.
A lot of times he will do the chest beat. That's kind of like
Yeah.
one of his signature things.
Yeah.
And so I put that into the performance as well at one
Oh,
point a
cool.
little bit. So
How
yeah, I was
That's
awesome.
totally
Was he
taking some
proud of
stuff
you
from
for
that.
doing that role? Like kind of bringing some of him into your life, into your role?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think so. I think he was. He and I, we usually get to connect like once every couple of months, and we'll do like a big like kind of catch up and talk and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we've had a phone call since doing that
Mm.
that project. But
Yeah.
I do know that that was the one he's been most interested in. And when I like send like reels, or excuse me, photos, or
Yeah.
whatever to my family, he'll be like, "Whoa, that looks cool." So yeah, I think he liked that I got to do something like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I
Mhm.
can imagine because that's his world. So
Yeah.
to see you
Totally.
kind of, bring some of that into your world, I imagine
Mhm.
that's probably pretty cool for him.
Yeah, yeah, and also like one of my projects that is like close to my heart that I've been working on for a few years now and trying to bring to fruition is a project that it's a story about an MMA fighter, and it uses a lot of stories from my brother and I's
Mm.
childhood growing up
Yeah.
to facilitate this sort of new fictional story. It's called Bloody Knuckles, and it's really really I think sort of a an examination of masculinity in that sort of
Mm.
martial arts culture
Yeah.
in the kind of poverty stricken South, right?
Yeah.
And it's a love song to my brother as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
really
Amazing.
proud of that.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
I can understand that. Like I I would probably do the same, like in
Mhm.
except in like the music world. I would
Right.
probably do the same, like because he loved music too. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool when you're like, I'm still recovering from pneumonia. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
When
fine.
you're
I'm sorry to hear that.
um when you're kind of like being able to take whatever you have and like kind of like you're saying like a love song or a nod to somebody that
Yeah, an
has
homage
that.
to someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
homage. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool when you can do that because then it kind of it validates them too, right? Of like
Mhm.
all of their hard work and what they're doing
Yeah.
too.
That
Absolutely.
is cool.
Yeah.
How
Absolutely.
far along are you in that project? Are you writing it or
Mhm,
what?
mhm.
Where are you in that?
Yeah, yeah. So when I first started it, I thought we were going to go the route of making a proof of concept, which is like a
Hmm.
10-minute film, short film
Hmm.
that kind of captures the essence of the movie and use that to get funding.
Yeah.
However, as I've been meeting with some production companies about it, and a lot of folks are just saying, no, I think we should just try to fund the feature and not shoot the short, and just kind of go out and try to get funding for the feature and make that.
Hmm.
So where I am right now, we got a vomit draft of the script. I call it a vomit draft because it was the one where we just had to like get it out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So we've got a draft of the story, and I'm working with some screenwriters because I think I'm a much better storyteller than I am screenwriter.
Mm.
Right.
And the difference is a screenplay is not just a story, but it's also a manuscript, a how-to guide for all of the crew. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
are technical things that I just don't know how to necessarily
Yeah.
format,
Hmm.
so that
Yeah.
Right.
the lighting guy knows
Yeah.
what's going on here, or the sound person knows there's going to be something, right? So I'm working
Yeah.
right now with some screenwriters to kind of hone in the script,
Awesome.
and once we kind of lock down which production companies are going to be kind of tied to it, we'll start going into funding and try to make this thing.
That's
Cool.
awesome. Are
Yeah.
you
Let
pitching it
us
to like
know.
bigger
We can
people?
post it for you, share it,
Hmm.
get the
Yes.
word out for
Yeah, for
you.
sure.
Oh, I
Yeah.
certainly will. Especially if we go to I'm hoping that we can find like just go through like private investor type stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if we do crowdfunding, I'll totally be hitting y'all up.
You
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
let us
Say,
know.
hey,
We'll
We're all
share it.
over it for
The
you.
wild
yeah,
ones,
yeah.
we got you.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be shirtless in a lot of that movie.
Same.
Many thirst
Uh,
traps, ladies. We're gonna get those.
Yeah, yeah. Just make sure you're reading Shakespeare, Halston, and I think
oh,
everybody will
Yeah.
be good.
right,
Cover
right.
all the
Yeah.
bases.
Mhm.
Cover everybody.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you for Fight Dirty, you brought part of
Mhm.
your own personal world with your brother, right?
Mhm.
So what have you taken from the acting world to your personal life that you use like not on the daily, but kind of
Mhm.
like in some of the things that you do?
Yeah. Um, charismatically manipulating people. No, um, no. The
I
thing I
knew
think that
it.
I've taken. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This has all been a ploy. Um,
Yeah.
no, the thing that I think I've taken from the acting industry into my own life is, I think the ability to kind of, uh, how do I say this? Go with the flow, not let
Mhm.
things kind of get under my skin as much. You know, growing up where I did, there was a huge culture of like defending your honor, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
And if someone like wronged you or belittled you or something like that, you have to stand up for yourself because that's what a man does.
Yeah.
And boy, is that exhausting. But
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
But with all of the rejection that you get in an acting career, I mean, I think this calendar year I'm at somewhere like around like 130, 140
Wow.
auditions.
Wow.
And I've booked like I think four, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the there's just an insane amount of rejection. Um, and then on top of that, even when you do book things, sometimes someone will be rubbed the wrong way and say something snarky, or like one time a producer, I think I had mentioned to somebody, I don't know if it was one of y'all that I was messaging or not, but I think it was to Claire, a friend named Claire in the Evan. I think that's who I
Yeah.
was messaging. But I had told the story about how I went to go replace somebody on this like, you know, uh, on this holiday romance movie that was kind of like being targeted towards Hallmark. And the first day, the producer was like, "Well, he's handsome, but I don't know if he's Hallmark handsome." Okay, that's kind of like right. That kind of gets like that. That kind of feels not great to hear,
What?
right?
Yeah.
Check this out. I think the thing I learned from acting was like letting stuff go off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind
He
of
was
have to
saying
at
that
that
probably
point.
because he
Sure.
was freaking out about his investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People say no for all kinds of crazy reasons. It ain't about
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
my self-worth.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
been a great way to take that into the world as well and have a better understanding for like, oh, that person was mean to me just now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're going through it today. It's whatever. I don't have to carry
Yeah.
that.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, he hasn't obviously seen the response to the thirst trap, so.
Ah, that's right.
So like
That's
how did
His
you
right.
loss.
feel? How did you feel once you realized like I know you went into it was just like, oh, it's like nothing. But
Yeah.
then in like not even 24 hours, it became the biggest thirst
Yeah.
trap that you
Oh
didn't
my
even
God.
realize.
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
did that feel?
Mhm, mhm. Kind of overwhelming a little bit because you're go. I mean, I've been investing in my social media for about a year, right? And
Mhm.
trying to like build up a following on there because that's another tool that actors
Mhm.
can use, right?
Yeah.
If I have an audience, producers can look at that and go, well, it's rarely casting and directors. Most of the time, it is like the executive producers who are putting their money into the project. They go,
Yeah.
oh no, pick that guy. He's got this many thousand
Mm.
audience members already.
Right.
And I was coming up to that a little bit where I would go to the end of callbacks and then like I lost a couple roles that were like from directors that I knew,
Mhm.
or like people I'd worked with before. And I'd lost them because the producers wanted to go with someone who had a little bit bigger of an audience base.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's like I said, part of the industry, let it roll off your shoulders. But
Right.
so I started investing in it. And then, yeah, I did that one as just like a silly little joke thing. And when it popped off, that was, yeah, a little overwhelming at first. It was, exciting seeing all the stuff, but then also like trying to keep it going by like responding to all the comments. Some
Yeah.
of the comments were
Mhm.
like not nice, and I would have to figure out a way to like make a joke out of it, diffuse it with
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah.
Right. Um, so yeah, a little overwhelming. Felt good. It felt like a good reassuring thing that like, okay, this work that I've been putting into the social media account is paying off, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was really nice as well.
But also like putting into yourself, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like all the
yeah.
work that you do every day, like going to gym and all
Oh,
of that, like,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like it's that also takes dedication and work too, not just for
Hmm.
social media, like
Truly.
I feel like that would also give you kind of like a, okay, I'm doing something right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
And more
Okay, yeah,
motivation
yeah.
to go. And
Yeah,
you're
and
like,
then the motivation to
I'm
continue to
building
do
in
it.
myself. You're
Yeah.
Mhm.
like, I'm building in myself to create this even more.
Yeah,
Exactly,
right.
exactly. And then you get the added benefits of like, oh yeah, also m- your mental health is benefiting from going
Right,
to
right.
the gym and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
not from reading all the comments though.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that'll take it down real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
right.
like, I build myself up. I'm looking good. And then you just see one comment and you're like,
Comment, yeah.
damn.
The
Yeah,
You're
one
yeah,
like,
yeah,
comment.
right.
okay, well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty smart though to mix those together though. I think that was a good
Yeah.
comedic
Yeah.
ingenious on your
Well,
part.
and that's part of that's another Halston specialty, I think, is sexy and funny at the same
Yeah.
the blending of
For
sexy and
sure.
funny. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because
A lot of girls
I'm not
appreciate
really
that.
yeah. Well, I'm not really just in life like older guy. I'm not really that kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got to be funny if I want people to like me, to be attracted to me. Yeah.
Yeah, the brooding thing doesn't work for you anymore.
It's not my I've done it a few times in some projects, but it's just I feel like so much more alive when I'm not constricted to
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
type,
Yeah, for
um
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, the comedy definitely fits you. That's for sure.
Well, thank you, thank you.
I know. I love your sketches that you have on your
Yeah.
Instagram. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many questions like, how
Yeah.
did the tag team championship go? Like, did they win? And the
Oh
dating one
yeah.
where they had like, she kept chewing the gum.
Oh yeah, that was
So
oh, and those were from
funny.
like forever ago, dude.
Yeah.
Actually, that was like peak pandemic on those sketches. And so
Yeah.
that was just me and my friends going like, we got to do something, man. We got to do something creative.
Yeah.
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 You got to let that energy out in some manner
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
right,
you're just
right.
stuck at home.
Mhm. Mhm. No,
So,
I love doing the
How did you get
sketches. Yeah.
through the pandemic? Like how did that as an actor, like was it hard?
Oh yeah. So, I was actually I was doing my last play that I did while I was pursuing theater. Since then, I've done one play, but it was like they reached out to me and I went and worked with them.
Yeah.
But I stopped pursuing theater when the pandemic happened, and I was
yeah.
doing the most fulfilling play I'd ever been in. It was tour. We did two theaters in. One was in Gainesville, Florida, and one was in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just incredible. The name of the play was called Lone Star Spirits. It's about a Texas family that owns a liquor store.
Yeah.
The daughter's coming back with her new yuppie boyfriend or
Yeah.
fiance. I played her ex-boyfriend who's in his 30s, but like the only thing he still talks about his high school football days, big
Oh yeah.
Uh,
goofball, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was
Like
just
Uncle
super
Rico.
fulfilling. Yes,
He
yes.
peaked in high school.
That was Uncle Rico, and yes.
Yeah.
So it was a very fulfilling production. And then the pandemic happened and it cut us short. Our last week got cut off, right? And
Oh.
the theater, they said, hey, Halston, since it's this weird time and since it's only going to last for 2 weeks of this pandemic, right?
Yeah. Right.
They were like, why don't you just stay in the actor condo in Florida until things die down and you can fly back to New York. So for the first bit of it, when it was like really, really locked down crazy,
Yeah.
I was alone in an actor condo in Florida,
Mm.
and I was at first I was having fun. I was like, "Oh, cool! I get to do all this stuff I didn't have to do, or that I've always wanted to have the time to do." Right? So I was like
Yeah.
writing things. I was like, having virtual hangouts with my friends. I even and I have since disabled the account for this, but I
Uh-oh.
was actually
So don't go
experienced with.
looking for it.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Don't
right?
go looking
No.
for
Deep
it.
dive, deep dive.
No.
I will find it. Just give
Okay.
me
All
a
right.
day. I will
All right.
find
Don't.
All
it.
right.
Yeah, this
Yeah, I
girl
was
will
like,
find everything.
but I was experimenting with doing a horror story, a kind of psychological horror story, but as an Instagram account, right? So the idea was you're going to be experiencing this by going through the posts, and then like you'll see what the post is, and then you'll like read the comments, and then like they're coming back and commenting later. And I think that was I'm really proud that I experimented with that. It was a failed experiment in my opinion. I don't think
Yeah.
that I fully captured what I was trying to.
Yeah.
However, I learned a lot of cool lessons about how I would approach that in the future, and
Yeah.
I might look into doing something like that in the future again, in
Yeah.
like creating a project that is experienced as an Instagram account, because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's weird and cool.
Yeah.
And
That
Yeah.
plus,
sounds
nobody's
cool.
ever done it. Like, you would be
Yeah,
the
I don't think
first.
I've heard
Yeah.
anybody do it either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I think there's a way to do it and make it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well, if
think
For
so
anybody
too,
sure.
can figure
especially
it out,
because
it's
like
you, I
so
feel
much
like.
of our society, it's all social media. Like we're all
Yeah,
social
right.
media driven. It's like
Yeah.
we're always looking at that stuff, you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
100%. Yeah, yeah,
I hear
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome.
So, um, like, have so far all the projects that you've done, and like all these upcoming projects that you've had filmed already, and we're waiting for it to come out. Have you ever had like a fan experience? Like someone come up to
Hmm.
you, like, "Oh my God, I saw you in The Pigeon," or "I saw you in this,"
Hmm.
and they're like, approach you like, how, like, what is your most memorable moment from
Hmm.
one of those?
I have so I've got two things. One of them is I had a person reach out to me just recently actually on Instagram, and they were like, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that I've been following you since the days I was doing theater in Dallas," which
Oh,
that was like 2015ish, 2016, right?
Yeah.
So they've been following my stuff for like 10 years. And
that's
I
awesome.
don't know they didn't have their name on the profile, and I was like, I don't know who this is really. And
Yeah.
that was really cool for me, that it was, someone that I didn't have a relationship with at all, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of the people who have followed my work and things like that are people that I've at least met in person, um if not like I have an actual, like, we've hung out a few times or something,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
only been really really recently with One Wicked Night, and it was since moving to LA actually. There was a few things that kind of came out earlier that started getting me some followers,
Traction.
and yeah, fans of my work, that it's been people that I don't know, so this is a kind of a newer experience.
Yeah.
But that one where the person was following me for like, had watched my stuff for like 10 years, that was really, really cool, that someone was that invested in the things that I'm making. And then the other
That's
one
cool.
was January or February of last year. It was when I was doing the last play that I've done, February of last year in Vermont. Um, a woman came up, a woman came up to me afterwards, and talked to me a little while, and I was just getting this vibe from her. She felt kind of like a fairy godmother or something. I was like, there's good energy coming off this person. She kind of feels a little ethereal.
Yeah.
And then she gave me this card. She pulls her wallet out, and she gives me this card, and it had a quote on it that said anything, and I've got it in a trunk over here in one of my notebooks. But it said anything that you fervently believe, desperately chase after, work hard towards, is bound to come true. Is kind of the sentiment that it gave, and I was like, wow, I feel in that moment really seen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you know minus all the like glitz and all the goofiness that I put out
Yeah.
on the internet, really, I mean, I'm pursuing something,
Yeah.
kind of, with everything that I have, right? I'm pursuing a goal with everything that I have. And it
Yeah.
really felt like a moment of like, oh, this person like sees that
Yeah.
and values it. So those were two
That's
really beautiful
awesome.
moments for me.
Like seeing you as the person rather than the person on the stage.
Yeah, yeah, that was really cool. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
So like if anyone were
Mhm.
to like see you when you're out
Mhm.
and about or anything, like do you have like do's or don'ts of
Yeah,
like how to approach you, or like how you from now on, like how you're gonna kind of like learn to deal with it, or it's gonna be like
yeah.
kind of like a learning curve for it?
I'm sure it'll be a learning curve. I'm sure it will. Um, Only call me Mr. Man. No. No, no, no. Please.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
All
exactly.
right.
No, the I'm sure it'll be a learning curve, and I'll pick things up. And I'm already kind of, learning like how much energy that I have to like give out to communicating with folks a day. Like I'm like cutting my like Instagram when I engage with folks, it's like in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I kind of like try to set that aside for the day. But in public, I'm happy to talk with people. I would actually be kind of flattered because I like I said, I've just now started building up sort of a fan base, a follower base. So I'm happy to like say hello and everything like that. I guess. Oh, you know what? Here's one. Don't do this. Don't do this, please. One time I was doing a comedy, and it was like it was a theater show in Dallas, and I was this guy who like runs around in his underwear and is really silly for the whole play. And I go out, and this sweet old woman comes up to me, and I'm walking out of the theater, and then she like grabs my arm and goes, "Oh my God, they are real. Uh, Completely hairless and not an ounce of fat, just the way I like them." And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God. Oh my gosh.
"Nice to meet you too."
Oh. Oh.
So like, I, I think we need to build a little bit of a relationship before we start like grabbing each
Yeah,
other.
kidding.
But
Out.
You're like,
yeah,
take me to dinner first.
yeah. But I'm happy with any interaction that you would have, with your barista. Any,
Yeah.
There you go.
the same social standards as that. Bring it on.
Yeah, right.
Just
Oh my
no
gosh.
touching, no invading your personal space. Just
Yeah,
that, I
yeah,
would believe that would be so off limits and like kind of
yeah,
crossing a
Yeah,
line.
common
Yeah.
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or if we do a
Yeah.
handshake or hug at the end, let's
Or
do it
you
at
could
the
like
end.
ask first. Ask permission,
Yeah,
like, hey, can I like touch your arm? Can I feel how if they're
mhm.
real? Or like
Yeah,
can I have a
yeah,
hug?
yeah. Well, and that's the funny thing too, because it's kind of like excuse my language, but kind of a mind fuck a little bit
Yeah,
for
Like a
for
clusterfuck.
sure.
but because when we watch as audience members, we're seeing like the characters and we're forming a
Mhm.
relationship with the characters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you see the person who was the character in real life, your body still feels that
Yeah.
relationship that you formed
Yeah.
while
Mhm.
watching it, right? But
Right.
Yeah.
but the actor goes like, "Oh, I've never seen you before.
Who are you?
Hi," So it's a
Leave
wild
like
thing. Yeah.
the worst first impression ever. You're
For
like,
real.
okay,
Yeah.
I
Oh my
know
God.
what I need to walk off from.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, I
like
gotta
you
remember
don't
you
just walk
not to get
around
near
doing
you.
that to random strangers or like,
Yeah.
giving them hugs. Like,
But
so,
there
Yeah.
are some people
it's
that are
like,
like that.
Yeah.
Like when I
Yeah.
was
Because
pregnant with
yeah.
like when I was pregnant, they were just like, "Oh, let me rub your belly," and then they would just do it. I'm like, no, I don't
Yes.
know you.
I think,
Like,
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
don't do
I'm
that."
like, no, give me my space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh. I can imagine that probably like in that like
Mhm.
uh, like theater setting, like
Mhm.
it would get kind of hard for people not to like separate, I guess, right? Like seeing you
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
and
Because
getting
because also
emotional with
we're
the character, or
mhm.
whatever. Like I would imagine
and
that
we're
would be hard.
physically there together. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah,
even
Yeah.
like
right.
there's a screen, right?
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
man. Did you ever have like a crazy experience other than like maybe that, but like from like some of the movies that you've had, like people coming up to
Mhm.
you? Like any of
Um,
those?
yeah. There've been a couple but it's never been anything like super crazy. The crazy part of it is me going, "Oh my god, you saw that movie?" I think I said that to Patricia. Patricia saw like one of the first on camera things I had ever done was
The
this
pigeon.
YouTube short. Yes, the pigeon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so
and
good. I really liked it.
Yeah.
And like,
Me and her watched that, and both of us were talking about it. And I was like,
yeah.
this is awesome. Like,
And then
yeah, I think that
I
was yeah.
remembered that a while back in one of your interviews where you had mentioned that you used to write and you used to perform in
yeah.
like coffee shops, pizza
Yep.
shops, and like with your
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
band, and then to see you actually do that and then play the guitar, and then near the end you guys are actually singing that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, this guy's got the whole package. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Woo.
So I
Yeah.
was trying, I told him I
Mhm.
was trying to keep that for you
Yeah.
guys. And like I was like, don't tell them until we get to like the
Yeah.
show, because I want them to see like the reaction of you being a rock star before being an actor. And then you went and dove dive like you always do and ruined the whole thing.
Was that it? Was
That
that
was
the
the
secret?
surprise.
That was
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
I told you it wasn't crazy. I was just like, the guy's a rock star sometimes.
Yes.
And I had the hair and everything back in school.
Yeah, the
I like had
long
hair,
hair.
the hair.
Yeah.
Now you have to like dig up a picture from there, and we have to see in your
I
Okay.
band era.
know. I'm
We
Okay,
dying
like,
we
to see
have
it
Yeah.
to
too.
see any bleach hair that happened,
Yes.
or
Yeah. Yeah. I'll dig
like
around.
the
I'll dig
Nick
The
around and see
Carter
what I can
frosted
thing.
find.
tips. Did you have the
Yeah. Yeah.
frosted tips, Alston?
Well, it was homemade, but it was specifically to look like Nick Carter. Yeah. When I was
Those
about
are the best
8 years
though.
old.
Like you
Yeah.
Yeah.
create memories doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do
And then
you still write
Mhm.
or like
Yeah.
perform or like play any
Mhm.
other instruments?
Yeah, I play for myself still a lot. Um, I just got the guitar out a few yesterday and was kind of like picking around and playing some covers, that I thought were cool. But yeah, that's been one that I keep. I don't really pursue it professionally at all.
Yeah.
Just for
But I
fun.
still do it. Yeah, I still do it for
Yeah.
myself. I think it's important to have those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
for
have like
sure.
a go-to song that you like to play?
I do, yeah. I play, depending on if I'm being funny for someone, I will
Yeah.
play an acoustic kind of pop punky version of Little Wayne's "Lick Me Like a Lollipop,"
Oh, jeez.
Ooh, I have to hear that. I
and
That's
then
I need
awesome.
to.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
okay, all right, we'll see, it might get on a reel, and then I also
Yeah.
do I really love playing in the aeroplane over the sea by Neutral Milk
Oh,
Hotel.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Big
I
fan,
don't know
big
that one.
fan. It's super, super like snobby indie
Yeah.
artist kind of, yeah,
That
very
means I
low,
just
Yeah.
have
yeah,
that's another thing I need to add to my list of what I need to watch and listen
yes,
to.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, that's so
man.
cool. Do you think you'll ever like do like a music thing in acting going forward? Is that something you put on like your resume of like,
Yeah,
hey, I can actually play the guitar and I can sing, and like is that
yeah.
something you would want to pursue?
I
Like in
don't,
the
I don't.
acting
Mhm,
realm.
mhm. I don't push it too much. I have before auditioned for some stuff that was like, about a band or something like that.
Yeah.
There was a really cool TV show that I was auditioning for a very big part on, and I was supposed to be like a washed up rock star who was
Yeah.
like coaching this new generation of musicians.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, the last time that I played for an audition. But I do it every now and then. My personal, like when I'm singing and playing guitar, it's very, very like it's not very flexible in
Yeah.
terms of like how it sounds. It's very much
Yeah.
Halston sound, which is very influenced by like emo pop punk and
Yeah.
acoustic alt rock. So like I don't have a lot of flexibility, which is a thing that like can kind of get in the way of if you're pursuing that as like I'm an
Correct.
actor musician. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 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 That makes sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sounds like it would be a
That's so
fun like
cool.
role though, you know,
Yeah,
like
my
a
roommate
cool.
actually specializes in that. He's an incredible actor. He's actually my co-star in the Cult movie. I got him in on the Cult movie, and he
Oh,
plays my
really?
best friend in the Cult movie. Yeah,
That's
Oh,
so
but
okay.
cool.
he's an incredible musician, and that's kind of what he specializes in as an actor. Doing music, acting, and then he's bilingual. So when they need like a Spanish
Wow.
speaking musician, he's getting the audition.
He's got it. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
in it.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
cool.
cool.
How
Mhm.
fun. That's awesome. I think it's kind of cool. I think it like rounds, but it also seems like, and maybe because I'm very much in the musical world, but like, I think it's kind of interesting that a lot of actors now, like your
Mhm.
age, like they all can sing, they all can, play a
Mhm.
guitar or drums or something. And it's like this like triple threat almost of like being able,
Mhm.
you have to have it to be
Mhm.
able to like make it almost.
Yeah, well,
Do you
it
feel any
only
pressure into
Mhm.
like have more things to be more broader of an actor?
Yeah, no, I don't feel too much pressure on those sorts of things. I do think that if you are highly skilled in anything, if
Yeah.
you're like the best person who looks like you at juggling knives and riding a unicycle,
Right.
that's not going to come up almost ever. But when it
Yeah.
Yeah,
does come up,
Right.
you're probably going to book it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
right.
So, like,
Yeah.
I always recommend if you have like hobbies or special interests or anything, invest in them as much as possible because it only makes you more castable. But
Yeah, right.
I don't necessarily I feel like I've got a good wide range of things. I do the fight stuff happens a lot, the stunt stuff comes up a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Music comes up every now and then. And then I also was for a long time in New York, I taught archery and knife and axe throwing. So
Whoa.
like
Mm,
that kind of comes up. I
Wow.
do a
yeah.
lot of like I know how to do a lot of different sword fighting techniques. So
Yeah.
like, that stuff
So
comes up every now and
you're
then.
the next like thirst trap for a Robin Hood or something.
There we
Yes.
go. Yes, let's get some Robin Hood
See,
going.
look, now you have another idea for a thirst trap.
You're
My
welcome.
God, you're right. You guys are getting me all my content for the year.
I
We're here
Mhm.
mean,
for you. You need
yeah,
ideas,
Thank
we
you.
got
I
you.
got you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, can you give us like little things about you that we don't know that you
Okay.
think like us as fans should know? And
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. Here are some things that could be unknown about Halston. Uh, I'm a huge Dungeons and Dragons player. Love Dungeons and Dragons. Big fan
Wow.
of that. I've recently gotten into also playing Magic the Gathering, which is a
Oh my
card
gosh.
game. So I'm like super nerdy geeky core,
Oh
yeah,
my gosh. My
bring it
best friend is
into
just
that.
got into that and she's so into that. Like she's got
It's
like
fun.
a whole box of commander cards or something.
Oh yeah, I
I don't
got my
know.
first commander deck.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean I don't know
wow.
anything. I don't
Yeah.
take and nobody take it with a grain of salt. I've absolutely no idea. But
Hmm.
like
Either.
it's just this like whole deck thing that she's got. And it's
Hmm.
so crazy. Like it's that specific game seems to be very popular, like amongst
It's
a lot of
cool.
people.
It's very cool. There's a huge learning curve to it, and I still
Yeah.
haven't gotten it fully down yet.
Yeah. What
But
made you go into that?
Mhm. My roommate was into it in high
Oh,
school, and he wanted
okay.
to get back into it, and so he got
Yeah.
his wife to start playing with them, and then I was
Yeah.
watching them like at the dinner table, and I was like, you know what? I'll get it. I'll get a deck too. Let's do it.
That's
Yeah.
cool. How
Yeah,
fun.
so got that stuff. I'm a huge philosophy geek. I really dig philosophy, specifically absurdism. I think that's a really
Interesting.
interesting area.
Yeah.
Mm,
Um, yeah,
Because I know you're kind
archery,
of
knife
into the like
throwing.
psychological thing, right? Like the how the
Yeah,
mind works
yeah,
and like
fascinating.
yeah.
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 It's like
You-
you're currently reading a book about it.
Yes,
I remember
I'm
Yeah.
you saying.
currently reading a book called Why We Remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also a
Yeah.
big fan. Oh, I love getting caught reading this one. It's so obnoxious, like snobby and obnoxious. But there's an absurdist philosopher named Emil Sharan. He's my favorite one to read right now, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's got a book called the trouble with being born.
Gosh.
And so I love getting caught reading that.
Ooh,
Oh
I
my
gotta read
gosh.
that.
Really pretentious,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll have to
I
look it
gotta,
up and see about it. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
because I have the Project 369
Yes,
that
right,
I'm doing.
right,
Yeah,
right. Which
those are
I
good.
probably need to get into. I'm a huge fan
Yeah,
of. I've worked through the artist's way like several times. I love doing that kind of like self work type stuff, and
Yeah.
just
yeah, and
thinking
it's like
about
a
how your mind
workbook.
works differently. Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a
Hmm.
workbook where you actually have to do the actual work on yourself,
Yeah.
not just reading it, but actually putting in that work.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
For
that's what
sure.
I really like about it. Like I can text you, quit taking pictures. Oh my god, that was the girl twin, Olivia, taking pictures. Yeah, like those type of books, like I really like. There's like I think a set of like 5 or 6, but I only have 2 of
Okay.
them. So
All
Yeah.
right.
yeah,
I'll definitely check them out. That sounds right
yeah.
up
Yeah.
my alley.
I'll text you. No, not text you. I'll DM you a link. That's just the
Please.
habit I say of like, okay, I'll text you, or you text me. It's
Oh yeah,
habit,
totally.
but yeah, but I'll DM you the link for it. But
Cool.
they're really good books. They're like really intuitive and really get you thinking on your actual self compared to
Yeah.
anything else.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have a lot of those like workbooks too of on different like working on different things. I
Hmm.
started one with like since I like started doing the script or whatever, I started working on those like how to write,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like be more detailed or how to write the
Hmm.
story better, that kind of thing. So
Hmm.
I have a lot of those, and then I also have one for like songwriting too, because
Hmm.
I've been songwriting since like 2001, but like it's always like a learning curve for that, like
There's always a
Totally.
I don't know.
constant change that you got to
Yeah.
adapt to because it's never ending. You
Yeah.
Hmm.
got to learn to adapt to everything.
Well, in songs, like
Absolutely.
there's like, and I think it's probably mostly too, like for acting, like even though it's like the same basis of like being an actor, like the same, like you go into it kind of the same of like the script and the,
Hmm.
the basics, right?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
then
Yeah.
once you get into like the meat of it, then it's like that's where you have to like learn how to know how to like write the story or become the
Yeah.
character or
Hmm.
whatever that is, like so I think
Yeah.
that's like
Absolutely.
being able to work on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that navigating once you get into the flow state kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
100%. Yeah. Where it becomes like second nature almost.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Have you heard of the 75 hard challenge?
Mm,
75 hard?
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard
mm-mm.
So
about that. What is
so
it?
it's I started it and I've it's you do you it's to learn to discipline yourself.
Oh
And
Oh,
wow.
I've restarted it 5 times already because you have to be consistent on
yeah.
if you do it one day, everything you need to do, and then you have to
Mhm.
do it the next day. If you miss it, you got to start it all over.
Oh
Okay, that
And
gosh.
sounds up my alley
so,
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm with you, Halston.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I started doing that when I I don't know why I signed myself up for the High Rocks challenge.
Okay.
Okay, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
discipline myself to do it. And so I was like, oh, I might as well do the 75 hard challenge. And yeah, that's it's difficult and it
Yeah.
really gets you to learn how to discipline yourself to be in that set mentality
Hmm.
of
Yeah,
okay, this is what you got to do and this is how you need to keep it.
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
yeah,
think that's
um,
kind of stuff is super beneficial, honestly,
For
because
it
it's so
sure.
is.
easy to kind of
Yeah.
go into, or for me, if I'm not careful, I'll go into like autopilot mode in life,
Yeah,
and I don't
Yeah.
like living that way. You know?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but it's also that comes from I think being so busy though, like for you
Yeah.
it's auditions and like I
yeah,
don't know, doing the voiceovers or like you have so many different like aspects of like trying to keep this machine going,
Uh huh.
right?
Uh huh.
Of
yeah,
like
Yeah.
who you are as an actor and what you're doing and then eventually like it can kind of flow into like I'm just going to do it every day and this is what I'm doing,
yeah,
rather than really
Mhm.
thinking through it and being like, okay,
Right.
today I don't know, an audition and I have to be like in this mindset or whatever,
Hmm.
like I think it
yeah,
kind of helps with that too
Exactly.
of being
Like,
able to break it up, you know?
yeah.
yes, I think so. I think so. 100%.
Yeah. I can imagine it gets kind of
Overwhelming.
mundane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can definitely get lost in autopilot mode if you're not
for sure.
um
Yeah.
being intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, intentionality, that's the word.
Yes.
Yeah. Like being intentional every day of like what you're going to do about it. Do you like
Mhm,
try and practice something every day like in acting itself like
mhm, mhm,
or do something to be able to like how they say like do
mhm,
1% a day or whatever towards whatever it
mhm.
is you want. Even though you're in it doing it every day, like do you still work on those practices or like a
Mhm.
musician like you play every day, like
Player
that kind of
scales.
idea of thing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I actually, so yes. And when I was early in my career, I actually would do it. Like I set aside time to like do some, excuse me, techniques and stuff,
Yeah.
exercises, acting exercises, right? I
Yeah,
would
that's kind of what I
treat it
was
just like
thinking.
the gym.
Yeah.
Um, Now, because I'm getting, I'm at a point where I'm getting, yeah, enough auditions to almost have one per day.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times the work on those auditions kind of leads into, okay, I'm getting my reps in. I'm
Oh,
today I
that's
might not be
true.
auditioning, but I'm analyzing the script because I'm auditioning for it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what the auditions usually turn into. And then I also think it's very important to at least like once a year, I'll try to go through like a 4-week workshop or a weekend workshop with a new acting coach.
Oh,
Yeah.
Um, just to hear somebody else talking about it and get
yeah.
somebody else's perspective. But I
Yeah.
keep it to like small period of time, like once a
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
because I think I get into a mindset of like being a student when I'm in a
Oh,
class and learning
yeah.
from someone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as opposed to when I'm doing my best auditions, I am not a student. I'm a professional. Like in my head, I'm
Yeah.
in the
For
mindset of
Yeah.
sure.
like I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed
Yeah.
to, and so if I'm in class and auditioning at the same time,
Yeah.
sometimes those auditions I'm like second guessing things or trying to tweak
Yeah.
them, and I'm a little bit too much here because I'm
Yeah.
taking things from class, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
usually try to do those like once a year to learn new things and grow, but
Yeah.
then transition back to, hey, I'm the guy that you want and I can handle this when I'm
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
auditions.
Have you gotten to a point where you're confident in for those in I don't feel like this is you, but like do
Mhm,
you have any like things of like insecurity or anything that come up that you're like, oh, I don't know, like the second guessing or the whatever?
mhm,
Like, how do
mhm.
you overcome those things of like the auditions and things like that?
All the time, actually, all the time.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's like yeah, and it's with silly things too. It'll be like, oh my god, my eyes look like I'm crazy in this audition.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing with my eye? Or
Yeah.
like, and anybody can fall into those traps, I think, really
Yeah.
Yeah.
easily. And it's
Yeah.
just that mentality kind of that I talked about earlier of like,
Yeah.
just let it fall off your shoulders. This is just my insecurities and my brain
Yeah.
going crazy. Someone else is going to view this differently. Did I
Yeah.
Yeah.
tell the story? Okay, the story's told. We're good.
Yeah. Do you have
So
that perfectionism? Like is that
oh
kind
yeah.
of
Yeah.
something that comes up?
And actually, I had to train that out of myself a lot too,
That's amazing.
because, well, thank you. It's an everyday battle. But
Yeah, I'm sure.
it
Yeah.
just it doesn't behoove you, I don't think,
Yeah.
especially as an actor, you know, especially now that we're doing self tapes all the time.
Yeah.
For
It's
sure.
you can
Yeah.
spend 4 hours doing a 2-page scene if you wanted to, but that's
Yeah.
not gonna behoove you in any way, except for
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
you behind on other things. So yeah, there's gotten to be a point where I just go, you know what? I'm telling the story and I'm doing good on camera technique. And if I don't like the way I said a line or something,
Yeah.
I have to let that just kind of go.
Slide
And
it
that's been
off.
a practice of like 10,
Yeah.
12 years of doing this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Well,
there like
Halston.
Mhm,
any
Oh,
any upcoming projects that you want to let us
mhm.
know? What are in
yeah.
the works? What's going to be coming out? That way we can let everyone in the wild ones know. That way we can keep an eye
Yes.
on it. Go
Yeah.
support you.
Yeah.
Yes. So there are 3 projects that are going to be coming out. Again, Fight Dirty is, I think, next week
Next
or
May
week.
or like
15th.
right after. Yeah, May 15th.
Yep.
So there's Fight Dirty. That's going to be on Candy Jar. That's their name of their app. And then I
Yes.
think they also release on Tubi as well. I don't know what the process is for them though.
Yeah.
But there's that. And then I have two feature films called One Wicked Night, which I know you guys are going to be on top of that one.
You know
And then
it.
another,
You know it.
yeah, another feature film called The Passenger that I shot last December.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
don't know like what the kind of how long the process is going to be in post for that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll be posting about it. But that one was a really interesting one because it was a very, very different type of character for me to play. Um, the kind of unifying thing that almost all my roles have is that there is some aspect of confidence to the
Yeah.
roles, whether
Yeah.
it's put on or actual confidence. Um, I'm usually a confident character, and in The Passenger, um, I'm playing a guy who doesn't have that at all and suffered like
Wow.
severe trauma and is dealing with navigating that. And it is a psychological thriller. We go on a little bit of a road trip, and some changes happen. So I'm
Wow.
excited to see how that comes out. You know, it was a big
Yeah.
experiment for me trying to play something different.
Yeah.
I'm actually
How's that
excited for
like
that just
playing
based off of
outside
what
of
you just
like
said.
Mhm.
Yeah. Say it again, Patricia, because I don't think they heard you.
Oh, that I'm just based off of what you said of The Passenger, I'm looking forward to it. It's based off of
Oh,
like just everything and the different characters you play, and it's good to see like you kind of like almost kind of like
Diversity.
it's almost stepping out of your zone and trying to get into that mentality of like, okay, this is how I need to think, this is how I need to feel, even though I'm
yeah.
kind of opposite,
Yeah.
how to grow into that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I hope it works. I hope we watch it and go, oh yeah, that worked.
Yeah.
Because we might not.
You're doing
Sometimes
it.
sometimes it doesn't work. You know.
Do you
Well, if
like
you're doing
watching
it, I
your
think it's
movies
gonna work.
back over?
Mhm.
Do you watch them
Yeah.
back over?
Let's see here. Not no, no,
No,
not very. No,
you don't like
Really?
to watch your projects? It's
I
kind of
don't
like
watch
a
them,
lot
but
of people
you
don't
know.
do that because they don't want to see how they perceive themselves and how the type of criticism, backlash,
Mhm,
or even good
mhm,
compliments will
mhm.
take effect on the person. Like,
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly it. And it's I do a Here's what I do. I usually will watch it the first time when they send me the footage.
yeah,
I'll watch it that time, and that's when I'm the most critical and
Yeah.
seeing it the most kind of harshly. But I
Yeah.
always do that
Right.
one by myself.
Yeah.
And then I usually will share it with some people that I love. A lot of times it's my family, sometimes it's my roommates,
hmm
and that'll be like a second watch. And then the last time I watch is I go through and I go, okay, that scene was pretty good. I want that for my reel. Okay, this
Yeah.
scene was pretty good. I want, you know what I'm saying? So I'll
yeah.
edit
Yeah.
it, right? Um,
Okay.
but yeah, that's usually about how much I watch my movies.
Well,
Well,
Halston,
some is
we're
better than
so
none.
thankful that you came on. Like, you're
Yes.
amazing, and we
Thank
love you.
you for
And
Yes.
having
thank you for being so
taking time
patient.
out and spending it with us, even though we kind of had some little
Yeah.
Yes.
technologia problems. You can
Yes.
translate it for me,
See.
Halston,
See. Yes.
for having to
No,
deal with all that.
hey, it was just a pleasure. Thank you guys for being so kind and just uh really easy to chat with. I really
Yeah.
appreciated that.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. You're so personable. So thank you for
Yes,
sharing
Hey,
your life and
absolutely.
your career with us. We really appreciate it.
yeah,
The
and
pleasure's all
I'm
mine,
being
guys.
serious. I will take you to Halloween Horror Nights with me this year.
You
I
Okay. All
certainly
will.
will.
right. All right.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
that's a promise. You're gonna have fun though. You'll have fun. There are some scary
Okay.
moments, but we got
Austin,
each
I'll
other.
fly down and go with you, and we can
Okay.
both be
We'll all go
terrified
together.
together.
As
We
long as I'm not
should.
alone, you guys.
That
Yeah.
would be so fun. But yeah,
Oh man. Well, hey, it was a pleasure, y'all. Thank you, and I'm
Thank
sure I'll be
you.
chatting with you guys on Instagram and stuff.
Probably.
probably.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you,
All right. Thank
everybody.
you so much,
Yeah.
Halston. It was so good
Thank
to
you,
actually see
Halston.
you, meet you.
Pleasure's all
Everybody go
mine,
check
y'all.
him out. Follow him on Instagram and check out his new movies that are coming out. We appreciate you guys coming back and watching it, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye,
Adios. Bye
guys.
bye.